Whatever's coming next, I don't want my family to see me like that.
How do you like your new home?
It's beautiful.
Takes a bit of time, but you'll fit right in.
Hi, how are you?
Hi, Excel. Congratulations on the movie.
Thank you.
Well, first, I would like to know what was your inspiration for this project?
It came from personal experience of seeing loved ones go through nursing homes. And when you see people who are close to you who go through that and see other people, you're surrounded by people of a certain age and you can't help feeling like this is your own mortality being shown to you. And at some point, we all are going to end up there if we're lucky enough to live long enough, not necessarily in a nursing home, but dealing with age and dealing with those concerns. And I think that I just really like to do things through supernatural stories. And it seemed like themes that were running in my head and concerns that were in my head that I wanted to put on screen.
This is not your first experience in the horror genre. What attracts you to this type of movie?
I'm not attracted to just this type of movie. I do lots of different kinds of movies. I don't reject this kind of movie if it's a good one. I like psychological horror. I don't like the blood and guts horror too much, but I like, I think horror can be really satisfying on a primal level. I think as cavemen, we're equipped to deal with fear, and it's like the safe arena to get scared, but it doesn't, you're not going to get hurt. Like riding a roller coaster or something, you know, it's hopefully you're not going to get hurt. So it can be kind of satisfying in some deep way. Otherwise, I don't know why we're so attracted to it, you know.
Could you tell us a little bit about your character in the movie?
Yeah, she's was a dancer and is past that now, and she's older, and she gets a stroke, not a heavy stroke, a light stroke, and the beginnings of Parkinson's, which is a progressive disease. And so she puts herself in a nursing home because she doesn't want to be around her family and lay that on them. And so she kind of bravely puts herself in this nursing home. And she's full of, I mean, the thing that's so attractive to me about her is she's so full of life and love and anger, and she's feisty and she swears, and she's, you know, just this kind of, I think, wonderful character. It was great to get to play her. And I found her really attractive. Hopefully audiences will like her, you know.
And how was the experience to work with Barbara?
Oh my God, she's wonderful. She was, you know, she's such an icon, and she is so willing to get out there. It's a very difficult part, I think. It's difficult to be seen to be that vulnerable. It's difficult to be that person sitting on her bed crying in a nursing home. You know, it's an incredibly difficult place to go to. And she was just so game for anything. And she would take things, like, she really grounded the movie by playing the reality of things and by trying not to, there's nothing she plays that she doesn't somehow deeply feel. Everything that she puts on screen is very genuine. And she has a way of working that's a little bit different in some ways. So it took me a little bit of time to figure out how to respect her process and how to best serve that. But once we got there and we got in sync, we had a fantastic time. She's hilarious. She's just wonderful. And so it was, she's pretty great. I have nothing but great things to say about Barbara Hershey.
If we remove the horror layer of the movie, there's a very deep and relatable story that, you know, the finitude of life and the natural fear of aging and the losses that we might find. Does this idea also attract you to the role?
Sure, it's part of what the movie's about, for sure. It's the undeniable part of what the movie's about. It's also, I thought, interesting in that it was when she starts experiencing these terrible things, the question, and people don't believe her, and it's the question of, she begins to not believe herself, and is this what dementia feels like? You know, is this what going crazy feels like? is that what's happening? And the question of what's worse, having a monster outside of you or the monster created by your brain? I think that's probably even worse in terms of self-esteem. So all those things were really interesting to me, which didn't particularly have to do with aging, but the movie's wrapped in that fabric.
I would really like to think that this is a movie that can be watched at any age, to be honest. I would hope that the general concern of seeing people you love get older and change, or not change, but your perception of them changes. And then of yourself changing and what it means to turn 30, to turn 40, to turn 70, to, the way that we perceive people being different according to how old they are. I would think that that's kind of universal. And I would love it if people of a certain age were into this movie. I would love it. And I would love to hear what they have to say about it. And I know that this has been the themes of the movie, and what the movie is trying to say are things that I've been debating a lot with our leading lady, Barbara Hershey. We discussed a lot, and what it means for her and her perspective being 70, and my perspective, and just kind of trying to find an understanding. And one of the things that I really didn't want the movie to say was that aging was bad. That was not the point. Even with the finale, that's not what I'm trying to say here. It's really more about the way that society views people over a certain age.